What's going on, family? Thought I'd get out here real quick. Had to run out to the store, grab some juice, have a quick story time. We take a ride in Zeus. Taking Zeus out already. This is gonna be my second time pulling Zeus out for the season. This thing is amazing. I may talk all this crap about this BMW being such a great replacement. Not a replacement, to say that it helped give me something else to play with when we're not in Zeus. Come out here and looking at all this stuff I need to do also. God, I gotta take that stuff over there, put it in the fire pit and burn it. I got a tree that done fell down back here. Definitely got to figure out how we're gonna maneuver cutting that thing up. It's not small and it's laying on other trees. We gonna figure it out, guys. We officially are going to be putting Liberty up for sale. Yeah, man, we're gonna be putting Liberty up for sale. I think we're gonna jump in Zeus, hit this road, cruise real quick, and go grab the things that I'm going to get in Zeus, and we'll have a quick story time, man. Woo! Man, and that's with traction control on. This is crazy. But anyway, yeah, man, I thought I'd get on here and have a quick chat. Today is Good Friday. And, well, I felt like it was one of those things that, you know, it's probably one of the most spiritual days, weeks, should I say. This week is very important, right? So it's, you know, I felt like this would be a good time to kind of been led, felt led to talk about this, honestly. So I wanted to just have a quick story. One of the things I mentioned I wanted to start doing is having story time that I can share with everybody. I'll pick a day. I haven't decided exactly what day it's going to be, but try to create a regular schedule. And we just have a little story time, kind of talk about me, I guess, you know, let you guys know a little bit more about the things that lie behind the veil. My spirituality. How do we get here, right? I grew up in New Orleans, man. New Orleans is a big time Catholic town. For me, and this is, you know, no gaff against anyone in the city and doing what they're doing. This is my opinion, right? So, yeah, so as a kid, I remember, man, you know, every time we went over to my grandmother's house, there was this one little Baptist church that was across the street that we used to all kind of frequent. I felt like it was a great opportunity to go and get the food that they had in the basement. Just saying. They were killing it down there, man. I can't say I was connected to the experience, if that makes sense. Then later on, somewhere along the line, my grandmother, she my grandmother, she became Jehovah's Witness, and then a lot of people started following her through that faith. My mother, she kind of, you know, trying to find some type of guidance for us. She had 3 boys. I was the middle son. She, you know, we started following that faith. Never understood it because it felt like there were so many rules, and as you grow up in faith, you learn that a lot of man-made rules, they call it legalism. Not exactly what you think it is, but when you start putting those rules in place, but they put these rules in place to say these are the things you need to do to get in heaven. But it's not always what you think it is. Like they had rules about what you can wear. They had rules about what you celebrate, you know, holidays and so on and so forth. The Bible teaches us that we shouldn't let anything question our faith. If we believe in what we believe, and if it doesn't allow us to stumble, then there are a lot of rules and things in place, in my opinion, as a kid that I didn't like. Of course, don't take away holidays that benefit me, right? I'm a kid. As I got older, coming into high school, now it wasn't in Kingdom Hall all that time. It was, we were in and out. It wasn't very consistent. It just wasn't. And I don't know if it was us or, honestly, it wasn't us. It was probably primarily my mother. Just, she was living her life, figuring her life out too. She was a single mother with 3 boys, and she, had to figure out how to make things work. We didn't have a whole lot. That's a big point there. We did not have a lot. So her making that work was important. She had to take care of her boys. And not just take care of us, but make sure that we weren't being subject to the things that was happening around us. Grew up in the lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans. There's a lot going on down there. But anyway, once I made it to high school, things got a little bit different, right? I started noticing those people that were around, going to, particular Catholic churches, right? And that was predominantly, at least most of the people that were around me, that's the faith that they followed. They followed Catholic religion, right? And man, it was a fashion show. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, there were certain churches that were most popular because of the people that were going there and what they were wearing. It was weird. Church, in some instances, was places where people go there, and I'm gonna back up a little bit before I finish the statement. I'm gonna say this. People go to church in instances to find their loved ones. They got guys that go to church looking for a wife, and so on and so forth. In New Orleans, as a kid, I'm gonna be honest, looking for girls. I wasn't looking for a wife. We were looking for girls to date and what have you. Not right, but as a kid and not really invested in faith, not digging in so deep, it felt like more checking a block for me, especially to go there. Catholic Mass was, you knew when you were getting it. When you go, what time you got out. You wanted to get your check in a block, you go Saturday. Right? Catholic Mass, it was the same thing. The schedule was mapped out for the year. So how hard is it to know what you're going to be learning? Easy. You just look at the schedule. Something to think about. Right? When we left there, got married, joined the military, and so on and so forth, met my wife, who was Lutheran. She followed more Lutheran faith. When we got together, we didn't die directly in the church. Once we had Chris, we started we realized this is something that we probably need to do, right? I know now today was something that we needed to do, just speaking from where we were then. We started going to Catholic churches. My daughter ended up going to different Catholic schools and so on and so forth. So we started kind of dabbling. We weren't all the way into that faith. We went when we went on holidays, classic Easter, Christmas type services and stuff like that. And then, every once in a while, every other time. It wasn't consistent. Let's just be frank. I'm going to be frank with you guys. We left the city with the military and, Texas, a few other places, yada, yada, yada. When we made it to Illinois, we learned that we needed guidance for us as adults, married adults. So we seeked the church. So at one point, because we were dealing with some challenges amongst us, wasn't a perfect relationship, but we were working, right? We had our challenges and so on and so forth. So to try to fill the gap and find some guidance that worked for us, we, started looking for church up here, and we kind of did it pretty quickly once we got here. It didn't take long before we started looking. And then once we started, let's visit a few churches. We went to a Catholic church that was just right around the corner from where we were living. Like, we could literally walk there. It was the same. It was nothing different. We had the same experience that we would have at any other Catholic church at home. So it was the same stuff, right? Oh, I forgot. When we were in Texas, we did visit a mega church. That was an experience for me. We went there a few times. The classic mega church with the coffee shop in the lobby, like for real, selling t-shirts and all kind of paraphernalia. It was a show every time. Loved the music. It was entertaining, and we got word today I can't say if that word really impacted me as much as far as I can remember based on my current experiences. Fast forward again. We started looking outside of Catholic Church. We went to, my wife met this lady that she was meeting. She was, they were going to get their hair done together. She was really cool. And she invited us to her church. So we went, right? We went to the church, loved it. It was actually great. But my wife was like, you know, maybe we should look at other things and see what else is out there. Like, I had a really good experience. The word was off the chain. The choir sang their butt off. There was the entertainment factor for me. But I did feel like, you know, first of all, walking in this place, I felt love immediately, and then the word was there. Like, I felt it more than I felt it at any Catholic church. I felt it. Again, Catholic church felt like a check in the block. Go to church on Sunday, check. Wash your clothes on Saturday, check. You know, clean the car before the car show, check. That's what it felt like to me. In the midst of it all, we visited maybe a couple other churches, and then we'll find ourselves back at that first church that we were invited to. That church is CFC Zion. It is, in fact, the church that we attend today. How did we lock into this church? Well, we went through a tumultuous time. We had a horrible anniversary one year, and we went to Kohler, and we didn't even stay the whole night. It was just horrible. We weren't getting along well. Following that night, my wife, we got there, I want to say Friday, Saturday. My wife went to church the next day, and she was in it. Like, every day she committed. She was serving the Lord. She was serving the community through that church. And I wasn't all the way in because I felt rebellious, like a little kid, honestly. We had this big old fight, and then you went to church, and then we not, you know what I mean? It felt weird. But anyway, I started noting the change in her, the effect that God was having on her life and how he was moving in her. There was times she invited her, you going to church with me? I'd be like, nah, I'm going to sit here and watch Joel Osteen. And she would go to church. And then at one point, she stopped inviting me, and she would talk to me about it, but she wasn't trying to drag me there. It was a different feeling. But I kept seeing how he was moving and working in her life. Then, somewhere along the line, man, it just, you know, I started respecting exactly, maybe that's the best way I can say, respecting what I was seeing in her, right? I wasn't N-word as well as she was. She knew way more. She got way deeper into this space than I was. But what I was seeing in her was pulling me and drawing me. It was the things that in her that I saw that I felt like, man, you know, I need to probably make some changes in my life. Cussing, drinking all the time. Yeah, man, I was living my life like I was post-sailor life. I was a wild boy. And then there was a marriage retreat from the church. The marriage retreat was going to the same location that we went to where we had our big fight. And the last time we were actually really thought we was going to do something, and things went really bad. But because of what I was seeing and things through her and what was happening through that church, I agreed. I agreed to support her through this. And it was a marriage retreat. So there's an opportunity for me to gain, or us to gain, something from this through the church. Going to a marriage retreat at a church, you wouldn't expect it to be what it is. At least for me, I didn't expect it to be what it was. It's the reality of marriage and what God planned for marriage is. So they're not only talking about how to get along and walking side by side and being together. They're talking about how you're supposed to be the relationship is supposed to be managed, meaning intimacy, love, caring, the whole nine, putting your wife first, but putting God first over your house and over your relationships, and then your relationship comes second. You can't have that relationship without God. It was after that marriage retreat that I never stopped going back to that church. I was there from that point forward. And because I was so convicted by my actions and everything about me, I felt started to change. I was so engulfed. Got saved on a Mother's Day that my wife wasn't at church. She was out with her family. They're actually out of town. Was baptized not too long after that. Joined the choir, joined drama. I just got into as much as I can. I serve where I can. If they need help with anything, I try to get my hands to the plow and serve. It was the church and the God in that space that drew me into it. It made me want to be a better person, a more godly person, Christ-like, a Christian. Curved my tongue, tried to, still working on my temperament. It's, you know, that's not the perfect thing in the world. Curved how much I drink. You know, I'm not perfect, but I don't overindulge. I probably might nowadays. Good Lord, nowadays I might have a drink maybe once or two a month. It's really changed a lot for me. I am there, you know. I believe in being faithful. It's not a check in a block. You know, I go there to get something. I go there to learn. I go there to understand more about what Christ has in space for us, in this space for us. I love my car shows, and if I'm able to make a Sunday, I will, if it's after church normally. But it's been my priority. Everybody that knows me know that Sundays are not always the best day for me because, oh yeah, that's right, you got church. Again, it's not a check in the block. I don't make provisions around the things of this world over my responsibilities. And I think everyone should be that way. I don't hold it against you if you're not, because, you know, that's your cross you must bear. But for me, I am who I am. And I've learned to be who I am because of the things that I've gone through. That's called wisdom. This is how I got to this space. This is how it became that important to me. Notice I'm alive, and then in my videos I'm not using profanity because I curbed that. I curbed my tongue, and I try to be more positive than all. Doesn't change the fact that the temperament is still, I'm still working on that. God's still working on me. I still run across those moments when I feel like I need to snatch somebody up, but I'm trying to do better, y'all. Y'all pray for me. I'm trying to do better. But that's my story, man. That's who I am. Active member at CFFC Zion, tithe paying member. And I will do everything in my power to help support and grow and build God's church. That's just who I am. Sheesh. But anyway, guys, man, thank you guys for hanging out and listening. Let me know if you got some questions. I'm open to it all. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. And y'all know how we do, man. Come on. I wonder where that phrase comes from. It's biblical. It's biblical. We were created in His image, guys. That's right. Because we was created in His image, basically, you have the way of saying we were designed in His greatness. We created in God's image. Man, there's nothing about us that we need to take light. We need to be taking this. We should be working at a higher power. For real, man. For real. I believe that. I believe that. And because we were designed for greatness, guys, y'all have the right, the responsibility, and the authority to never be average. So guys, don't be average.